We spend our lives running from it. That dull ache in the pit of your stomach. That restless twitch in your fingers. That quiet whisper that says, there's nothing to do. Boredom, the enemy of productivity, the killer of time. The shadow we escape by drowning ourselves in screens, noise, and endless distractions. But here's the paradox. No one wants to admit, what if boredom isn't the enemy at all? What if it's the secret door we've been slamming shut, when behind it lies our most powerful source of creativity and even happiness? The day the lights went out. Imagine this. You're at home. Your Wi-Fi crashes. The power goes out. Your phone battery dies. The silence is deafening. At first, panic creeps in. You shuffle around, tapping your dead phone like it might resurrect. You glance at the ceiling. You pace the room. And then, with nowhere else to run, you sit. Minutes stretch like hours. Your mind claws for stimulation. And then, something remarkable happens. Your brain, starved of input, begins to generate its own images, ideas, stories, solutions, memories, like fireworks exploding in the dark. That uncomfortable void called boredom, it just unlocked a door you didn't know existed. Why the brain hates empty space. Neuroscientists have studied this phenomenon for decades. When the brain is not occupied with tasks, it slips into what's called the default mode network, DMN. This network lights up when we daydream, recall memories, or imagine future scenarios. In other words, the brain fills the silence with imagination. This is why your best ideas rarely appear when you're staring at your laptop screen under pressure. Instead, they emerge in the shower, on a long walk, or during a mindless bus ride. It's not magic, it's your brain finally free to wander. Boredom, then, is not an empty desert. It's a fertile field waiting to be planted. The seduction of instant stimulation. But here's the tension. Our modern world despises boredom. Every dull moment has been surgically removed from our daily lives. Waiting in line at the grocery store? Scroll TikTok. Sitting on the toilet? Check emails. Walking down the street? Plug in headphones and drown in podcasts. We don't just avoid boredom, we annihilate it. And in doing so, we annihilate the very conditions that creativity requires. It's no wonder innovation feels harder. Our minds are crammed with constant input, but starved of the blank space that sparks original thought. The myth of happiness in distraction. We also confuse stimulation with happiness. The dopamine rush from notifications, viral videos, and endless scrolling convinces us we're entertained, satisfied, alive. But the truth? That high is short-lived. After the 10th video, after the 50th scroll, you're left hollow. And so you repeat the cycle, chasing a happiness that evaporates as soon as you grasp it. Boredom, ironically, might be the antidote. Why? Because when you're bored, you're forced to create your own joy. You doodle. You hum a tune. You reorganize your desk. You imagine stories. You rediscover play, the kind that children naturally live in. And from that self-generated creativity emerges a happiness that feels deeper, richer, and strangely enduring. The experiment that changed everything. Psychologists once ran an experiment. Participants sat in an empty room with nothing to do for 15 minutes. The only option: press a button that delivered an electric shock. You'd think no one would touch it, but most participants did, some repeatedly. They preferred pain over boredom. This is how terrified we are of silence. But here's the kicker. When those same participants were asked to spend idle time differently, writing, daydreaming, or simply sitting in nature, their mood improved dramatically. They reported more creativity, more calmness, and yes, more happiness. Boredom wasn't the villain. It was the crucible. Rising tension, a world that forbids boredom. But what happens when an entire generation never learns to sit in silence? Children today grow up swiping screens before they can form sentences. Teens can't walk to school without headphones. Adults can't survive a single meal without their phones within reach. We've engineered a society where boredom has become extinct. And if boredom is the soil of creativity, then we've paved over our collective imagination with concrete. Could this be why anxiety, depression, and burnout feel like epidemics? Could our obsession with avoiding boredom be the very thing that robs us of meaning? The paradox of nothingness. The secret is that boredom is not nothing. It's the beginning. In the void, your brain builds worlds. In the silence, you discover yourself. In the restless ache, you tap into desires, fears, and dreams that you've buried beneath noise. Boredom isn't absence, it's presence. It's a confrontation with your own mind. And yes, that can be terrifying, but it's also liberating. Because once you stop running from boredom, you realize it was never chasing you. It was inviting you. The twist, the happiness you've been running from. Here's the twist nobody sees coming. Maybe the reason you feel unfulfilled, despite having endless entertainment, endless distractions, endless access to stimulation, is because you never let yourself be bored. You never gave your mind permission to wander. You never gave your creativity oxygen. You never gave your happiness the silence it needed to grow. So the secret isn't more fun, more games, more scrolling. The secret is less. The secret is to sit in the discomfort of boredom, long enough to see what it's trying to show you. Because in the end, boredom isn't the enemy. It's the door. And behind it, your creativity, your joy, your truest self, is waiting. Closing explosion. So next time you find yourself staring at the ceiling, tempted to reach for your phone, don't. Let the boredom burn. Let it stretch. Let it pull you apart until your imagination rushes in to fill the cracks. Because one day you'll realize the happiness you've been searching for in a million glowing screens was hiding in the silence of your own mind. Subscribe, like, comment for support.